Hey folks, welcome back to another SPY Options update. This is for week 47, which means there's only a handful of weeks left before the end of the year and the challenge will be over. This is looking at the daily chart of the SPY, and it's been a shorter trading week, so really just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thursday was a holiday. I hope those who celebrated had a great Thanksgiving, and we've basically just seen a continuation of the trend that's going up, but very light volume and not a lot of movement in the price. The range was basically from 450 up until 456, which is just a consolidation in a 1.3% range. I do expect more movement next week as it'll be back to a full 5-day trading week. But for this past week, I didn't do too many trades. Here you can see kind of light on my SPY trades for Monday, and it turned out to be $38. Tuesday, I made $170. On Wednesday, just a few trades as well, which ended up being $34. And then finally Friday, really just two trades. The first one, I sold a bear call at 555. And if we go to the 5-minute chart for the SPY, this was Friday right here. And you can see I sold the bear call quite early in the morning at 8:12, which would be like right around here because the market seemed to be in this trading range, kind of like this. So it's going flat or even slightly down. So that would have made me $34 per pair of contracts had the market just closed below 455, which was right here. And it was pretty good through most of the day, but it was the last really 10 minutes. As you can see, the market went up. I was not expecting that. So I had to get out of my position, and it was basically break even. But had the market ended just 10 minutes earlier, I would have made, you can see the market was basically here 10 minutes earlier below 455. I would have made $34 times 2. So that was break even. And I put one more bull put trade in that is expiring on Monday of next week. So not too much money here, but it's a gain of $12 after accounting for the trading commission. Now, the reason I'm bullish on Monday and I think the market will go up is because at the end of the day, if we look at the daily chart, you can see we're on this uptrend, and in the latest candle, it's almost like a dragonfly doji, but it is a green candle with a longer wick on the bottom than on the top. And when this happens on an uptrend, 70% of the time the market tends to be up the next day. So I'm just playing the probability that it'll go higher. And if it goes lower, then I'll close out of my position for a loss. But the idea is over the long run, I should be right more than I'm wrong. Similarly to last week's update, where it was a Monday, and I mentioned because it's a green candle and the wick on the top is longer than the wick on the bottom, which is non-existent in this case, then most likely than not, the next day the market is going to end lower, and that's what happened on Tuesday. Now, one thing that could trigger a correction, because as you can see from the daily chart, we are due for one, is if we look at the VIX, the volatility index typically moves in opposite directions of the market. And I have to go to the weekly chart of the VIX because what I want to do is see when was the last time the VIX was this low at 12.46. And we have to go back all the way to January of 2020, which was almost 4 years ago. So what happens when the VIX drops from a high point down to this level? Well, previously you can see that it bounced off this level and went higher, came back down, went higher, and it just had a hard time breaking this level. So if we get a bounce from here on the VIX and volatility increases for the stock market, then I would expect the SPY to go down, so the opposite direction. So we could go a little bit higher next week because we might try to retest this previous high back in the summer, back in July. We might hit that. If it gets a strong rejection off of that and we go lower, the next week will very likely be a red week. However, if the VIX just stays around that 1250 range and it doesn't go higher, then we could see the market next week kind of do what it did this week, which was just go up a little bit, and we could test that high, but it could be on a Thursday or Friday, and then the next day it could come down. It really depends on the reaction of the VIX and how violently it's going to bounce from here or continue to consolidate, because it's very likely to either go up like this, in which case the market will go down, or it could do something like here in September. So I keep an eye out at this level here on the SPY, about 450.9. If it goes below here, I think next week the market is going to move further down. On the other hand, if it stays above right here, where the previous resistance was back in September, this is about 454, then I would continue to remain bullish because the market will likely try to retest this even higher high back here in July. So keep an eye out for those two lines, and also keep an eye out on the VIX to see how that might impact the markets. But that's going to do it for this week. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one.